Hey y'all, this is Frank Etheridge, editor of Electric City Life, and I'm here at the home studio of Jesse Shelby. How you doing today?
Good, man.
Good. So I want to start off and talk about your music, but what inspired you to become a musician?
It's a family thing for us, really. I actually, in some ways, tried to avoid it. Um, but I started, my dad was a musician. All of his brothers and sister were musicians. They were the original Shelby brothers in Indiana. They all played, and they're from kind of right around Gary, Indiana. So the Jackson 5 thing, my dad and his brothers and sister, they were kind of doing this country music thing and sort of a southern rock sound, even though we're from up north, they're very southern, migrated from like Tennessee and Kentucky and all that. So we grew up around it, and I started playing violin and orchestra in school, and then picked up guitar and drums, when it became cool as like a 13-year-old playing with my friends in the garage. And didn't really, then I kind of dropped it and got into other things, really focused on other things, and just would once in a while kind of pick up the guitar and play around, a campfire or something, and didn't get real serious about it until I was an adult. I was like 21, 22, and really, got excited about blues and looking for ways to pay my student loans. Coming out of college, I was like, what can my second job be? Well, I watched my dad gig all, his life, so I'm gonna try music, and it just took off from there. So
Okay. And I got introduced to your music watching Magnetic Musos. How that was like, it seemed like a fun kind of freewheeling project. How did that come about?
that was a really fun project. We got to play with some just heroes to me, local heroes, through that project. So it began as a house band for the Loft on Friday nights. The first iteration was called Royales with Cheese, which had a sort of a set group, and then the group shifted. Magnetic Musos came to be a group where members fluctuated more, where there were more special guests, um, and just such a special vibe to have the Loft as an awesome music venue, great sound, music lover audience. Trying to make it a fun time for anybody who came in there.
And Friday night later.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Yeah.
those heroes, I'm guessing maybe Lloyd Buchanan, Neil Lucas, who are
Absolutely.
some personal heroes.
Yeah. Neil played with us a good bit. Lloyd, when we got Neil and Lloyd together, it was always super special. There's something really special about their chemistry together. And Lloyd, yeah, just absolute musical hero of mine. I just am constantly blown away by his adaptability, his ear, his taste. Everybody knows his voice is insane, and his musicianship. He can play drums, keys, guitars, everything, bass. Martel Hughes, this drummer that we played with for our duration through Magnetic Musos, he was a staple member, and he's one of the most phenomenal drummers I've ever heard play and played with. When we were playing with that group, I felt like we could go on stage and open up for any band around the world and feel totally confident in our ability to do it. So
Do you think y'all are gonna come back when things start opening up and pandemic's over?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard any word on the transition for the Loft opening yet. I know that there's a new stage that they've been working on, ready to go. So when things do open back up there, it's gonna be an awesome environment. I think it'll be much improved. So excited to do it, but I don't know what the plans are yet for reopening.
And so recently, I know you've been gigging a lot with Shelby Brothers. What's it like to play music, create music with your brother, Hank?
It is such a privilege, such a privilege. So we're pretty far apart, and for a long time I didn't see that coming. We're 11 years apart. So when I started gigging at 21, he was a 10-year-old kid, and he started picking up the guitar when he was like 12, 13. He actually at first he wasn't excited about it. It took him a while, like me. He was playing Guitar Hero video games and then got excited to play a real guitar, and he picked it up so fast it was ridiculous. He started gigging with my dad at clubs when he was 13, 14. He was playing Freebird and all these other shredder riffs. So it just constantly blows me away that I get to do music with him. And when he's not there, it feels like there's a massive gaping hole. If he can't be at a gig, it just doesn't to me. So
yeah, so I mean, the family band concept obviously is something y'all grew up in, and now you get to carry that tradition on. So that feels special. It feels good.
it really does. It feels like sort of an intentional legacy. You know, I don't know if my kids will pick it up, but I certainly hope they do.
And so in 2020 you started, and this year been doing a lot with your label. You started Might As Well.
Right.
How and why did you start that?
Well, lately as Shelby Brothers, we've been playing a lot with Evan Collins and DB Woolbright. And DB and Evan are a really special rhythm section, drums and bass. So solid, so talented, really diverse musical taste. And we had worked together to produce tracks for a number of artists. And as we were doing that and, you know, feeling out all this chemistry last year during the quarantine, we did some live streaming. We did some things where we really started to learn our chemistry with each other and realized, like, oh, we have a sound as a group of people. We have a sound that we can offer, and we can help people shape their music. So you know, we saw an opportunity to produce music for people, and to utilize that sort of core group of musicians alongside of our connections to others like Lloyd Buchanan and Mike Jarrell and other local heroes and their abilities. So it's pretty wild with Might As Well. We have that great group of musicians who have already been on a number of records, that core group, but then we can also reach out pretty quickly and get the same background singers that are with Alabama Shakes or who have sang on the Heavy albums, things like that.
Yeah, you were also saying earlier though, but there's in the Chattahoochee Valley, there's world-class talent, but it's not necessarily getting known or getting out there.
Right.
It might as well maybe helping with that.
I sure hope so. This town has never felt. There's always been kind of a handful of bands around here. There are certainly bands around here. A lot of solo performers and duo acts, but there's so many incredible musicians spread out all over the city, especially at different churches and whatnot, who aren't necessarily joined up. So I hope through Might As Well, we can create an audience and create an avenue that some of these people can, you know, release their music, release their content, videos, and things like that through Might As Well, and you know, put people's ears and eyes on what they're doing, because it's just there's so much talent around here. I think, you know, people who said it. I don't know if it's a Georgian. I feel like it was a Georgian musician who said it, but something about how there's always good music near water. It's always near a river. You know, like music with soul is born out of the river, the water.
Yeah. Well, I certainly hope you have the best success with that venture with everybody too. Jesse, Shelby Brothers, Magnetic Musos, Might As Well. Appreciate your time talking to me.
Thanks a lot.